Ibra di testa, Tonali, gol! Sandro! Meritato! Sandro! Gol!
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the SempreMilan podcast. I'm your host, Ollie Fisher, joined once again by Anthony Tallgrood.
What's up, guys? Glad to be back. We got Madison with us as well in his dungeon.
You're not going to try and point? There we go.
Oh, there we go.
My dungeon is the size of your apartment, so I'll take it.
It's probably bigger.
Last week was the height thing. This week it's the size of property. It's
No, I don't even own my apartment. I have no property.
It's a rough couple of weeks in American relationships on the SempreMilan podcast.
Yeah.
It's about to get even rougher as well because I've done a quiz. I've done a quiz for you two boys.
Is rougher a word, or is it going to get more rough?
I think rougher is a word.
Rougher's a word. Yeah, it's a modal verb, I think. Could be wrong.
I don't know.
Me either.
So, look, I mean, there's been a bit of controversy surrounding the last couple of quizzes.
No, that's not a word. It's controversy.
Controversy.
No, you're definitely
Either's
not right.
fine. Either's fine. I think controversy would be the English way to say it, but I'm not going to. It's spelled the same.
So pretentious sounding.
Do you not think it sounds pretty good? Controversy.
No, it sounds like you're trying too hard to say controversy.
Just starting to think of other words. Anyway, look, we've got a quiz to do, so don't piss off the quiz master. That's probably the first port of call. Otherwise, might be awarding some.
Has AJ ever won a quiz?
Nope. Wait.
No.
Did I win the one that Maddie wasn't at?
It doesn't count.
Maybe you did. Yeah, I think you maybe did.
You beat someone who doesn't even exist in the SempreMilan podcast universe anymore. So.
No, I think it was Stefano, wasn't it? Well, Mr. Note Taker, I beat him.
Yeah. Oh, it was no. Maybe it was because I was on the one with Steph.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know. I think I got a dub. Leave it in the comment section below if you think I have or not. But
I'm fairly sure one of them between you two went to a tiebreaker because it finished like 1-1 after 10 questions.
These are always a disaster.
Yeah, I mean,
did you know that we are a big voice in the AC Milan world and we can't even answer 10 questions about AC Milan?
Yeah.
It's almost like the whole point of this is to have one person do research and then the rest of us just off the top of the head, you know.
And for some reason, I'm the one who is doing the questions rather than answering them. But look, this is it. I've got my reputation as quizmaster now, and I'm going to stick with it. Should we get into it then? We've got 10 questions, and it's going to be same as last time. Whoever I hear say the correct answer first, basically. There's going to be no, like, name multiple things, you know. It's just going to be as they're read. It's kind of chronological, I think, which will become apparent as I read through the questions. And then there's a tiebreaker for if you tied at the end of it. And yeah, 10 questions. I will be keeping score, which I better actually do now. There we go. Are you ready, boys?
Yes.
Boy is ready. Yep, great stuff.
I'm actually
Can you get off your computer and just look at me because I'm a bit skeptical about the mouse movement?
If I was off my computer, I'd have to shut down the podcast. So
I could see you looking at another screen.
He's got transfer market pulled up.
I do.
I knew he did. I honestly, that's disgusting. In fact, that won't help you for a lot of these questions.
Oh shit! Well, then I'll close it too.
Yeah. I'm actually messaging AJ the answers privately.
I almost texted you and yo, send me the answers, but I knew you wouldn't do it because I tried that last time.
I said there was no questions with multiple answers, but the first question has multiple answers. So this is whoever I hear do it first. So Milan played 6 pre-season friendlies. Name 3 of our opponents.
Real Madrid. I just remember I was in Vegas that when it was 0-0. I want to say Valencia was one of them. And
I have no idea. Monza.
Oh, we did play Monza. That was one.
No, we didn't.
Was it the previous season we did?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Was it like fucking Hertha Berlin or some weird German team?
I'm getting close to awarding no points for this.
Well, at least I got one. I know it was Madrid.
You got two.
And I gave you the
Real
score
Madrid and Valencia.
Oh, okay. Well, then 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm. So the first two you probably wouldn't have got. Procesto and Modena, who we hammered.
Modena. That was actually
that was who I thought, not Monza, or I thought Monza, but
then we played Nice at the Allianz Rivera Stadium, which was a draw. And the final pre-season friendly we played weirdly was in Trieste and it was Panathinaikos, and that's when Giroud scored twice. But yeah, all right, that was a bit of a tough one to start.
I get a point. What? I don't get a point. I got two of them.
Said first to name.
He said you needed 3.
Okay, but you got 0.
Right.
And you got 0 points, so we're at the same spot.
Yeah, it's a campaign against Torgrud.
Yeah,
it always is.
VAR. Vargrud. Who scored Milan's first Champions League goal this season?
Brahim Diaz.
Macias scored the winner against Atletico Madrid, but
Rebic. It was Rebic.
It's Rebic. Maddie goes 1-0 up.
Let's go!
He scored at Anfield, the equaliser.
I was going to say it was Leao. I wasn't sure if it was...
I think Leao assisted it.
Yeah, or I think he had the second one, and I know... Oh, and then Kessie got sent off, yeah.
Brahim Diaz got the second goal in that Anfield game.
Mm.
That was the tap-in on the line when the ball just kind of fell to him. Okay. Question number 3. Who got the most cards, yellow plus red, for Milan in all competitions this season?
Teo Hernandez.
That sounds about right.
That's right. Maddie's 2-0 up. He got 11. Sandro Tonali got 10.
You know this fucking guy's just got the whole screen up right now.
Yeah, he might do. He might.
I can see it in his glasses.
I looked for cards, but I'm on total assists, so it didn't have it. Because I felt
you are going to have to close that page, otherwise I'm docking you a point.
All right, closed.
Great. It's not going to help for most of these, actually, that are coming up. Number 4. After how many seconds did Calabria score the opening goal in the away win against Atalanta?
13.
90.
I think just keep going.
It was the first minute, so I'm going to say 32.
I'll say 45.
36.
37.
51.
50.
Less than 30.
Okay, 25.
19.
Correct.
Fuck off.
Who?
No, AJ's right.
Oh,
it's
okay,
25.
cool.
Oh, fuck off!
2-1. I might just do... Right, you get one guess at this, and the closest wins.
That's what you should have done with the last one, too.
I know, I realised that. But I thought one of you might have known it, like the Leao goal, everyone knows it's 7 seconds. And what goal difference did we finish on in Serie A?
What?
31.
Goal difference. So that's your guess, plus 31.
36.
Oh, that's close. It's 38, but you get the point, obviously.
Damn it, tied 2-2. Torgrud with a comeback.
2-2 with 5 questions to go. This is what we want. I want the tiebreaker to come out, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So
But we can't. There's 5. Well, I guess unless we don't answer it.
If one of you doesn't get it right again, yeah.
Wait, there's only 5 questions?
Left. No, there are 10 questions. We've got 5 left. That was question number 5. This is number 6. What was Milan's longest unbeaten league run?
16 games.
16.
AJ said it first.
God damn it, I want to throw something in my computer.
I catch it.
Let him finish the question before we answer.
Okay.
I mean, you run the risk, though, of getting the question wrong, I suppose, if you want to jump in. But
yeah, we only get one guess. So
you're going to need to hear the whole of this question, right?
Okay.
So this is question number 7. Who made the most league appearances this season out of these players? Daniel Maldini, Fode Ballo-Torre, Simon Kjaer, or Matteo Gabbia?
Gabbia.
Kjaer.
Kjaer is correct. 3-3.
I thought that was too obvious, so I went.
Yeah, I mean, no, but he only played up until December, so I was surprised to see that.
I almost guessed Ballo-Torre just because I was like, this motherfucker will have it.
Yeah.
They went in a row 12, 13, 14, 15 appearances, so I thought I'll just throw all 4 of those in there. So we have got 3 questions left, and it's tied at 3-3. This is fun. Number 8. Olivier Giroud scored 5 Serie A goals in home matches. How many did he score in away matches?
3.
4.
Closest wins. The correct answer is 6.
Did he? He had 11 goals? I thought he had 8.
No, he had 11. He got double
I
figures.
remember that he was having trouble scoring at home, and he was only scoring away goals.
Yeah, and
So
then
you
he got
guessed he scored
but
less
the two
away goals?
The 2 goals against Inter technically count as away goals. Goals in away games. And then you've got Napoli, and then you've got Lazio, and then you've got Sassuolo. He scored twice. So,
wow, I really should have known the Sassuolo one.
Yeah, maybe.
I could have looked down and been like,
yes, tattooed on your leg. Okay.
Do you know? I don't know, man. So what we're on 4-3 here. So this question, I can't really do closest wins, so I'm going to have to do the first person to get it. But yeah, here we go. Question number 9. Milan kept 18 clean sheets in the league in 2021-22. What was the last season that they got that many?
91?
I'm going to say 94-95.
Shall I do closest for that?
I think so.
Yeah,
we can just keep on going.
We're just pulling shit out of our ass.
I think it's 2007 actually, but I'm not going to change my answer.
It's 4-4 because it was 2011-12. It wasn't
Damn it!
long ago. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Because we had that second half of the season push. Yeah,
there's no two ways about it. Yeah. All right. So it's 4-4. I'm tempted to say that you've got to get this one right. Otherwise, it then goes to a tiebreaker, which would be fun.
This is the final question?
Yes, and it is a number. So, you've got to get this right. I'm going to say that. But I will note of whoever was closest so they can maybe be the winner of the normal quiz. Question number 10, final question. During the last 6 games of the season in the league, how many goals was Leao involved in? So that's a goal or an assist.
During the last 6 games? That's a lot.
8. No, I take that back. I don't even think we scored 8 goals.
You can't take it back. That's your guess. Can you say what the last 6 games were?
No.
I'm
going to say 5.
Um, 7.
So neither of you got it right.
So here's my thought. He had 3 assists against Sassuolo. He scored the goal against Fiorentina. And we had 2 against Atalanta. I'm assuming he did some shit there. And those are the only ones I could remember.
He also got 2 assists in the game against Verona.
So how many is that?
The answer is 9. He got 3 goals and 6 assists in the last 6 games of the season.
My original guess was 11, and then Maddie said, I don't think we even scored that many. And when he said 8, and I was like, fuck, maybe he's right.
Yeah. Well, when he opened up with 8, I was like, wow, probably a winning guess, that. So no, neither of you got it. Neither of you got it right, but AJ was closest on that. So now we go to the tiebreaker. And I think I did this as the tiebreaker last year, but obviously with updated info this time. What was our average attendance at home games this season?
52,000.
I'm gonna go. You said 52,000?
Yeah.
52,001.
That you can't do that. You can't
Why?
do that because my 52,000 encapsulates all of it. All the 52,000. You got to.
Let's ask the quizmaster.
Yeah, you can guess that if you want, Maddie, and you'd lose the point on this one because it was 44,050.
Hey, good job, AJ.
So there you go, AJ. Just let him have it. Quiz champ. I think with winning the tiebreaker and then getting closer on the last question, you are the legitimate quiz champion for the 2021-22
Good job.
season. Congratulations.
Do I get a third change? I got 2 now.
The first time we did the quiz, you got the first 2 right, and then I came back from behind, and you just came back. So good job.
Yeah, I think that
like
first one you scored like you got like 6 or 7 of them, and I only had those 2.
Yeah, that was madness. Yeah, brilliant stuff,
Shocking,
lads.
really.
Anyway, cheers for partaking.
That was a good one because I won, obviously.
To make it a little bit easier. On to talking points then, I guess, and then we'll do some questions. I mean, look, it's that time of the season where not an awful lot is happening, to be brutally honest. The takeover has happened, but we kind of spoke about that last season, and there hasn't been an awful lot that's happened since that. Players have gone away on holiday or to the national teams. The transfer market isn't officially open yet.
Has it happened, though? I mean, I know we obviously announced the signing of it, but the closing's not till September. Do we count it as it's done?
Yeah, well, it sounds like it, yeah. Scaroni said as much. And I think it's never just a, quick snap of the fingers type process. It does take a bit of time for everything to go through, the transfer of shares and stuff.
Right.
I think the thing is that the previous rumours been confirmed about Elliott staying around and holding on to 30%. They'll earn more money if the club is sold on for in the future. They'll earn more money if certain things are done, like the construction of the new stadium and the achievement of other objectives. We're in a bit of a limbo phase at the moment. It's done. We know the new owner is Redbird Capital. We know Jerry Cardinale has come out and said some encouraging things about how he wants to win. He hates losing. He's going to carry on with sort of the vision and the people carrying out the vision that were there before under Elliott. So you've got Maldini, Massara, Moncada as the head of the scouting department, and obviously Gazidis. They'll all be sticking around. I think continuity is key in this. It would be a bit weird if they came in and completely overhauled it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a successful winning project at this point. Like, why would you change it? If their objective is to continue winning, which it sounds like that's what Jerry wants to do, and not like liquidate assets for profit, then they would continue what we're doing. You could even argue it would be at an accelerated rate, a more transfer budget, bigger signings, things like that. So I think we're going to push for more, probably keep everyone the same, and maybe our signings will increase as far as like the average price of transfers might go up a little bit, but I think we're still going to do a lot of the same. You might get a marquee signing here and there, but I wouldn't expect it to be like an Inter or Man United style transfer window where every player is someone who from a winning team. You might get 1 or 2 of those, and then the rest of them will still be uncovered.
I'm expecting like one big signing, like someone that we know as like we're the new owners. You just won the title. Let's you deserve it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then I expect it to be back to business as normal. Maldini looking for deals. I am expecting the salary cap to change because we kind of proved hey, you can win the title, but in order to hang on to the title, you have to pay your players. So
you have to pay your players as title winners. Yeah.
And this new ownership group bought the club because they want to win. It wasn't like Elliott who came into ownership because someone defaulted on their loan.
Mm-hmm.
And so Elliott did their job. You could say that they did more than their job. They won us a title. And it's going to be an exciting couple of months here. Anxious, but exciting.
Yeah, I suppose so, because it's a massive summer for us, Mm-hmm. Before the objective was let's try and have a summer market or a winter market where we put a squad together that's capable of winning the league. Mm-hmm. And now it's like you've got to aim to retain the league, which is very hard, as Inter found out. But you've then got to go further in Europe. So you're keeping 2 avenues open, and you've probably got to try and win the Italian Cup for the first time in 18 years, whatever it is. So that's another competition that you're aiming to do very well in. So it will be an interesting summer because there are obvious positions to upgrade in. And there probably is the budget to do that, but we know what Maldini and Massara are like. They like to make sure that every penny that's being spent is being put in the right place. I expect to see them haggle for certain deals like Florenzi and Messias. If we sign those 2 outright, I wouldn't be surprised if they're already on the phone for discounts because those 2 or 3 million can make a difference in other negotiations. That's just the way that we do things. But yeah, I suppose his comments were fairly promising. It's going to take a bit of time, I think, for the wheels to get in motion. Sounds like Maldini's had an initial meeting with Cardinale where he was kind of persuaded to stay, liked what he had to say, and we should probably take it as a good sign that he's willing to stay around and extend his contract, because we know that he's done fantastic work. And then we'll wait and see what happens with those transfers that we've supposedly got lined up ready to go. You know, Divock Origi is going to arrive. Not surprised that there's zero opposition to that because it's a literal free transfer. You know, it's not going to cost them anything apart from salary. And we will save plenty of salary with the players that are leaving this summer. And then it's Botman and Renato Sanchez. Those are the two that are seemingly pretty close to being over the line, but we just haven't made that final step yet. I'm still expecting those two to come in, but there's been a bit of a whisper about Gleison Bremer potentially being a better alternative for us. What do you think about that?
I don't think it's a better alternative. I think it's a good alternative if we have to go that route. But just looking at the profiles, I think Bremer is very similar to what we already have, whereas Botman gives us something different. You know, he builds to the system, whereas Bremer just continues it, and that's not a bad thing. The plus sides to Bremer are potentially cheaper than Botman, if that's true. I'm hearing 20 to 25, whereas Botman's 30 to 35. And the other big one is Inter wants Bremer, so we could take a target away from them. You know, that's always fun, especially when they have limited budget, because if they lose their only target, then it's going to be a lot harder for them to find a replacement than it would for us. So that's a big plus. However, I'm still Team Botman, have been since Kier got injured. You know, I wanted him in January. Yeah, so
Bremer knows the league as well. That there is that as a bit of a plus, but also Botman has Champions League experience and won Liga with Lille.
And he knows
with
Mignon.
Yeah.
Plus, he knows Renato if he comes in, knows Leao. I mean, he's
plays in a back four, whereas Bremer's been playing mostly in a back three. So I suppose that there are obvious plus sides. I think there's a reason that a lot of Bremer, it's been in or nothing, whereas Botman has apparently attracted the interest of Man United and Newcastle, who we know have pretty big ambitions themselves. I think that says a lot. And he's younger. He's 4 years younger, is Botman, which is a big thing when it comes to centre-backs, I suppose. Maddie, who would you rather have?
Bremer. He's just because he has the league experience.
Yeah, I also think that the one thing that might be why we haven't fully closed the door on Bremer is because we could potentially be clever with counterparts, and we might end up spending like 10 million plus Pobega. I personally don't think that Pobega's gonna set the world alight, really.
But I thought that he was in the plans.
He is in the plans, and it sounds like he's going to get a renewal. I think he's probably starting as the fourth choice midfielder next season, presuming that we sign a Renato Sanchez or profile like that. So that's a tough starting spot. He's going to get games, obviously, but I just, whenever I've seen him for Torino, yes, he's versatile. He can play more advanced, or he can play in a double pivot, but he seems to be quite slow and quite cumbersome. But maybe he can do a job coming on in like a defensive role. I don't know, but I just don't want everyone to place the weight of expectations on someone who's still young, and up until last summer was going to be sold for about 8 million, you know. But fingers crossed he does well, because he would be useful for the UEFA squad regulations and stuff. But yeah, on the Bremer thing, you could include any one of a number of counterparts that they might be interested in and lower the price to 10, 15 million cash. And then all of a sudden you've got that extra 15, 20 million that you're going to put towards Botman, towards potentially signing another forward. We could get a starting number 10 and a starting right winger then. All of a sudden. So I don't know. We'll see, and I'll see how that one develops. But all the most reliable sources are still saying that Botman is our number one target. If Maldini is the one who picked that out a long time ago, we don't have a reason to doubt him on that. The other thing really worth mentioning is Leao's renewal. Sounds like the requests over salary have gone up, which we probably should have expected. You know, when Real Madrid, PSG, Man City, maybe Liverpool come knocking on the door. And
you're the league MVP.
Yes, and Mendes is your agent. Those things tend to.
How much is he asking for?
That's again, depends who you believe on this, but it sounds that it's around about 6 to 7, somewhere around.
That's a fucking deal.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
We're lucky he's not asking for like 10.
Mm-hmm.
When Inter's cheapest player is making like 9. You know, I don't know if that's factual or not.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate, but I get your point, and I agree.
Exaggerated point, and I like it. Yeah, look, he's going to get it elsewhere if he doesn't get it here. He also, the same way that people are thinking, you know, Tonali, there will be no problems with his renewal negotiations. Calabria, blah blah blah. Leao, he does have loyalty to us because obviously we've shown him faith and brought him here, but there's no reason why he'd necessarily stick around if the Premier League came calling, or literally the biggest club in the world in Real Madrid came calling and said, we can give you 9-10 million a year, and you will be competing to win the Champions League every single season. And also will help you, that extra salary will help you repay your fine to Sporting. So it will be completely offset. It's actually quite a worrying set of circumstances, which is why we need to get it done ASAP, in my opinion. Though there are still reports that we're pretty optimistic about getting it done because he wants to stay. I think at this moment, release clause or not, there will come a time when Leao wants to try something different. I don't look at him as being a career Milan player. I really want to be proven wrong on that, but you know, at this current moment in time, we are not ready to fight to win the Champions League. We're not. We're maybe 1 or 2 years away from that at the moment. And look, PSG, Real Madrid come knocking. Unfortunately, we're not in a position where we can say, well, you're at Milan. You're on a par with these clubs, because we're just not at the moment. But yeah, fingers crossed that changes.
But that could be what we tell him to get the renewal. Look, we're going to try our best to fight for Champions League as soon as this season. You know, if we get the big signings in, if we could close a couple deals and prove to him, like, look, our objective is to fight for everything, maybe we could sway him. And if not, you know, look, if Messi could leave Barcelona, then there's no such thing as a one club player anymore. That's true. The reality of the game now.
Messi didn't choose to leave. They couldn't pay him.
Lower your salary, you know. I know that they're a whole
nothing.
Thing. Well, yeah, they said that they still couldn't afford it, but yet they signed 1 million players each window. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't. But you get my point, though. You know, like you can be swayed, and it is what it is. So if he leaves, no one's going to be mad. I don't think. I mean, there's going to be people who overreact, but you can't argue, especially if he goes to Madrid. Like, who's going to be
mad? If Leao
mad?
leaves,
yeah,
I'd be mad
at him,
at the club.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a reasonable reaction, and unless we get him in with that 250 million release clause and someone activates it, like, by all means, please leave. You know,
right?
I'll take that. But
I think if he were to leave this summer in particular, it would be a bit of a worry because 1, we've just finally won something and we couldn't convince him to stay. 2, we've not offered him the money he wants, which might get other players' heads thinking, you know, how serious is this project? And then 3, literally that. We couldn't convince him to stay by promising him that we're going to fight for serious things and that we're going to match the ambition that the young players have within our squad. But
I don't know.
Nothing too alarming at the moment to suggest that he's itching to go or anything. But I think getting his renewal done fairly quick would be a really good opening statement.
I don't think any of the Premier League clubs are that enticing to him. I know the money's there, but at the same time, yes, you're competing for titles, but most of the Premier League teams just get close to titles. They don't actually win them. You know, they get really close to make it to the semis, to make it to the final, but then they don't win. You know,
yeah. But one of the teams who want him is Manchester City, and they've literally won it 4 out of the last 5 times.
I'm talking about Champions League.
Oh right, yeah. In which case,
but he's already won a league title with us, so you know maybe that's not as
because English Premier League teams are shit.
Yeah,
especially Everton.
Oh wow.
Oh wait, are they still a Premier League team? Or are they Championship now? Or
don't even think about mentioning Huddersfield, otherwise I'll end it.
I wasn't going. I was going to Maddie.
Everton. I thought Maddie was going to say Everton are Premier League, unlike Huddersfield.
I was like, are you talking about Huddersfield or?
I did it last week.
Oh, but just to continue that point, you know, I don't think the Premier League is that enticing to him because it's hit or miss. If you're going to actually compete for a title, you get more money for sure, more exposure. But Premier League exposure isn't always enticing to players. You know, it's very dog eat dog out there. If you don't give them a 10 out of 10 each week, you go from the greatest player in existence to the worst player of all time. And as a young kid, that may not sound like a great thing to you, especially when you're lauded as a hero in Serie A and Milan. Real Madrid, always enticing for everyone. That's guaranteed real competing for 3 titles every season. Always, plus the money's there. PSG, I mean, that's a vacation, but it's a very well-paid vacation, and that's the only thing. So if he's beyond the need for titles, then yeah, go to PSG, make your millions. Can't blame him for that. But if you want to win shit, the only real threat to keeping him here is Real Madrid, and they're the
they've got
greatest team in
Vinicius
history.
Jr.
Yeah,
So
they don't need him.
They don't need him. No. The one thing that I have in mind, I mean, obviously the release clause is there, and that is good. That protects us. 150 million is a big amount. But the one thing that might just, because I really want to keep him, think, we've got a real absolute gem of a talent on our hands here. He made decisive contributions, as that quiz question showed, towards the back end of last season. Come on leaps and bounds in the last year. We don't know what his ceiling is yet, but the one thing that might make it easier to stomach him leaving is if you think about a Man City and then potentially including players coming the other way to sweeten the deal. If all of a sudden Bernardo Silva plus cash, or Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, and some becomes part of the conversation, then you're thinking, okay, maybe we might be able to replace his productivity in the aggregate somehow. But yeah, at the moment, no, we need to get him locked down. More so than anything, just to reward him. He's on $1.5 million a year at the moment. He does deserve. Pay tripling would take him up to what Teo's on, so he might feel that he deserves a little bit more than that.
And I'm okay with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because he's the match winner. He proved that last season. I
give him 4 times what he's on. That makes him at 6. Yeah,
I think 6 million, including bonuses, is definitely still below the market rate, but it would constitute a big change in approach from us. To say, here, we'll quadruple your salary. We'll go past our previous salary scene of 5 million or whatever it is.
He's not even asking for what his market's worth. That's why we should give it to him like no brainer.
I agree, probably. But I also do think there's room to negotiate that. Like if you offer him the 6, he might come down from 7, be like, all right, cool. Or just say meet in the middle, 6.5. And Milan would be dumb to say no to that. And if he says no to 6, then honestly, move up to 7. Just say, yeah, all right, fair, you've earned it.
It certainly wouldn't be a good optic for Redbird if their first thing was to mess up the renewal of Leao and have to sell him,
Yeah.
So I and it does sound like there's optimism about it happening because he wants to stay. Whether that's him wanting to stay for another season and then making that jump, whether he can make that jump with us, I suppose time will tell. Funny saying that, isn't it? Time will tell. Obviously it will. New stadium is the other thing worth talking about. Sounds like, according to Milan News and a couple of other sources, we are now pushing ahead to build our own stadium. We have spoken about this in the not-so-distant past, but it's now become an actual concrete possibility. Jerry met with people from Populous, the studio who have got the green light to design the new stadium, and also met with the mayor of Sesto San Giovanni, which is a little district in the northeast of Milan, about the same distance out as San Siro is to the centre, to discuss the building of a new stadium there on the site of a former steelworks, which is already being converted and cleaned and everything, so it'll be ready to build on at no extra cost to us, which is fantastic. And it sounds like we want to build our own stadium with a capacity of 70,000 plus.
I love it.
That's a nod of approval from me.
Yeah, hard to say no to that. I mean, all the other figures were saying like 55,000 for the stadium capacity, and 70
eventually
puts us
agreed
up
on
there, like much higher.
It was 65 is what they agreed on. The Populous final project was going to be 65,000. But yeah, well, you're right. Yeah. There was some rumors about it being lower.
I mean, you look at San Siro can house at most like what is it, like 80, 85, something like that? Something definitely high.
It's yeah.
But we never get that. We never open the top ring of it. And that's a hard thing for foreign players to grasp. I think we can't fill a stadium. It's like we sell it every week. It's just we don't open the top amount. It's not safe.
Because of health and safety. Yeah, that's it. It's
and if we could build our own without Inter that we own, and it basically double Juventus stadium capacity, think of the revenue. Think of the match day bonus. Like that's
and just
huge.
That area out there. I've never been and visited myself, but Jerry has. But that area out there.
Think of the area. I've never seen it before.
the Google Maps of the area. It is literally a blank canvas. You know, you can make it a Milan town, Milan Village, whatever you want to call it. Like, put everything around it, make it a match day experience, turn it into, because there's been all this stuff about how he wants to replicate the Yankees business model of building a new stadium and making it a whole lot more than just the experience of the match. You know, everything.
Put a Milan hotel next to it.
Yeah,
the fan shop, the headquarters, everything. Move Casa Milan over there.
Exactly.
The Red Wings did the same thing in Detroit.
There you go. And they haven't won anything for years. The 14 years, is it, without a championship now? But they'll be back.
That's worse than Milan. Took us 11.
Yeah, that's quite the drought.
Not wrong.
And then, because the thing with San Siro is there was always a limit on what we were going to be allowed to build, you know, from a volume perspective, because the local residents were getting pissy about the idea of it turning into anything other than just a place for people to come for 90 minutes and then leave. So there was going to be handcuffs from the very, very start on that one. And I just think this has massive potential, huge potential, because we know what Americans are like, with respect for the generalization that I'm about to make, but they love the whole real estate thing. They love the idea of not just of building something around something, you know, having a draw, and then what can we build to make money?
We are the picture perfect idolization of capitalism. We like to make money, we like to build shit, and we don't care about your past. So tear down the old rotten San Siro, and let's build up this new icon of the future. And if Beppe Sala wants to fuck us around with the current place, then bye-bye. San Sesto it is.
He is a prick. Yeah. No, he's not. He is a bit, but there are some bureaucratic processes that he has to adhere to. We understand that, but they're going on for too long. Like, anyone would lose patience in this. We're wanting, as in the two clubs are wanting, to build a stadium that makes the city look better, quite frankly. San Siro will still be there in some form, but there'll be a brand spanking, shining new stadium that is going to be funded by the clubs, that makes the city look better. It's going to make people want to go there.
Doesn't everything in Italy just take longer, though, with politics? So.
But this is why,
bringing in the Americans.
An opportunity has presented itself with this mayor saying,
bringing the Americans who don't understand Italian bureaucracy.
Well, we could get it done. We know how to grease some.
Bring in American Italians who understand both.
People who eat like Alfredo.
People like Rocco Camisa.
It worked out for him.
So the thumbs up comes from us, I guess, on the new stadium, on our own thing. Look, we've got something a bit unique, but it's in terms of us and Inter sharing a stadium, but it's not even unique in Italy. Rome do it, as in
most
Roma and
places
Lazio,
do it.
Verona, Hellas and Chievo. Let's just leave them behind, because it is a real opportunity to leave them behind a little bit. That's it. Is there any more talking points? We all good?
Not really, honestly.
I'll move on to questions. So then we got... we're at 6 this time. Kevin G asks, who are your top transfer picks for the following positions: striker, right wing, attacking midfielder, and centre-back?
I mean, just out of anyone, or out of the people we're linked to?
I guess an element of realism. Top transfer picks is all it says. But obviously,
you list
signing Haaland is a striker, right winger, attacking midfielder, and centre back. Yeah,
all the positions we need someone. Centre back, Botman, easy, make it happen. Striker. I mean, I think Origi is probably going to be the guy we're getting. So I don't think I should dwell on it too much, but I would prefer if we went for like a Gabi Jesus. I know it's the last year of his contract. They just signed Haaland. It makes sense. But actually, I saw today that Tottenham are going in for him at like 40 mil. So he's going to pick Tottenham over us if those are his only options, I bet.
You think?
Yeah, stay in the league. He's happy there. Plus, it's Conte, who doesn't want to work with Conte. I could see it working out for him there. Right wing. Say this is unrealistic, but I think it is. I want Gareth Bale. I think we take the punt. He said he's going to extend his career for the World Cup, get him on a 1-year deal, 2-year deal. Like, he's still one of the best to ever play the game, let alone in that position.
Are you talking about when he's playing soccer or golf?
Well, he's not very good at golf. He just enjoys it.
Well,
is that what he said?
That's all he does.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're going to the World Cup for the first time in 14 years. They want to get showing. It's not like he
14?
needs
It's not. It's
like-
about 60
Since like the
years, isn't it?
50s.
Yeah,
Sorry, maybe it was
anyway,
45 years. I don't know. A long time.
Long
Or
time.
maybe, it was the first time in 14 World Cups, I think is what it was.
They'll be them in Italy.
Yeah. But it's not like he needs play time to get called up for the Wales squad. He's going to get it. But obviously he wants to stay fresh and he wants to make a good run. It's a big name. It's a marquee signing that would be obviously a free transfer. So I don't know. I think it adds up a lot more, and it's the position we need reinforcement in the most. It's not a player you need to worry about and anything else. You know, you put him in, he slots in, he's good. So that's what I take for there. And what was the other one you said? Attacking mid.
Yeah.
I think Renato's going to be the guy for that.
Mm-hmm. Do you know where Gareth Bale is actually supposed to be going? Apparently, he's going back to Cardiff.
I was going to say I saw Cardiff, and I'm sure we're a
that
lot
would be
more invested in
mad because
Cardiff.
he would play against Huddersfield next season.
Yeah,
not looking
I
forward
Go to
to
the
that.
championship.
I just don't see that happening.
It's his
Is that real?
hometown club. Yeah. I mean, the wages is the obvious question. Like, is he going to drop from 250k, 300k a week to whatever Cardiff are willing to pay him? But I guess if he just literally wants to stay fit and focus on his international career, then he'll have to take whatever they're willing to give him. And
I mean, do we think Cardiff could offer more wages than we can? Genuine question. I don't know.
But it also depends on what he wants.
No.
If he wants to do both, I wouldn't be shocked if, like, say one team signs him on a 2-year deal and they loan him out to the other team for a season, you know? Like if we were to able to work something out with Cardiff, that way he gets top flight experience before the World Cup. And then, I don't know, kind of like the Beckham situation, how he just was half the season for like two years in a row or whatever with us.
Yeah, on loan from LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mad. Still so happy that happened, though.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Striker, I'm going to go the guy from Red Bull. I don't know how to say his name.
Oh, yeah, and Nkunku.
Yeah.
Nkunku, is that it?
Yeah.
Right wing, I'm going Pulisic. Attacking mid, Sanchez. Center back, Bremer. Because I think Lille are going to pull something, and they're not going to sell us both Botman and Sanchez.
You know what's funny is you picked 4 different players than me, but I was like on board with everyone you just named. I was like, yeah, that's the one.
And like the likelihood of us signing the striker from Red Bull is it's like 2%, I bet.
But you know, that's a good thing. You know, like, yeah, we're not linked with everyone we just named, but we're linked with most of them, and that shows where we're at now as opposed to the last 10 years.
And apparently Liverpool are also going after Pulisic, but I would love if he left the Premier League. I think that he would play so much better.
I don't know if his father
really
would let him. I think his father's so keen on him being marketable, and the Premier League is the most marketable league. Plus, Liverpool has just they got American owners. Like, I bet his dad makes that move, and that
but he can also see how Weston McKennie's been marketed in Serie A.
Yeah, poorly. Racial abuse week in, week out.
I mean, I don't think he's been racially abused yet.
I think he has.
But
there is racial abuse though within the league.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%. But we're just gonna end that conversation there because they're two different kinds of players. You know what I mean?
That's a spin-off.
But he's the face of Serie A in America.
That's true.
You know.
And so Pulisic would bring so many views to Serie A.
Right, and imagine having both of them.
And
the latter being at the biggest club in Italy.
Yeah, I was surprised to see.
I'm not his publicist, but if they want me to be,
I will be.
Sounds pretty good. Yeah. I was surprised to see the Pulisic links. I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if we could make it work because obviously they paid like £58 million for him or whatever. It's like 50,
and Chelsea don't let the players go cheap.
But
we could do the Yoko deal. You know, 2-year loan with option to buy.
Dog.
Yeah, and then
wavelength.
Yeah, but then how do you convince them to do that when we're sending Bakayoko back a year early because we're not playing him?
Well, they know Bakayoko's shit, so
yeah,
same wavelength.
I'll just move on. I think Botman will come in for the centre back role, and that's fine by me. But this is my picks, obviously. So I'm going to go with Bremer and try include a player as a counterpart to lower the cash sum, which then increases our budget available for other positions. Go out and get Nkunku to be the attacking midfielder because he's played as an attacking midfielder more this season. Sorry to shit on that idea, Maddie. For the right wing, get Ziyech on a 1 or 2 year loan, so we're not paying up front for him.
How do we convince Chelsea to do that?
You convinced me that we can convince Chelsea to do it. And then for the striker role, I think it's going to be Origi, to be honest. But if there is some budget left over that we're available to go out and sign a player who could perhaps be a forward that we can build around, then maybe make an attempt for someone like Gabriel Jesus. Yeah. Although I suppose he's like 25 now, isn't he?
You say that like that's old.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But Origi's 26, for example, so it's not like there's much difference there. But anyway, yeah.
I do think Origi is going to be so perfect for us, though. I mean, I got the bet with Maddie. I think he's going to get 20 goals all comp next season. So, or I
20 hard stop.
20 bang on.
Goal and assist, right? Or did I just say goals?
You said 20 goals.
I'll look up the bet because I don't remember and I want to make sure we're right. But, I have a history of winning bets, so it's probably going to happen.
I have a history of winning bets.
I said $20 Origi to score 20 in all comps. Deal. Okay. So that's what we got.
There we go. I think it'd be good
clear,
for the
it was not
League,
20 or more.
Yes, it was.
Will you read the bet again? What was the bet?
20 goals all comps. If he gets 21, I'm not paying you if you try to say you won.
I'm gonna move on. Same person, Kevin, asks, should Kalulu be starting right back? Can he be trained to play left back to cover Teo? No to the second question. We've tried.
Yeah, we saw him play left back. It was probably his worst performances in a Milan shirt. But yes, I think he's going to be a good right back next season, especially if Botman comes in. It's going to be Botman Tomori. And I wouldn't be shocked, like if Calabria goes down hurt or something, Klu's going to come in as a starter. And I wouldn't be surprised if he wins that position for the rest of the season. And then we're looking for a new captain again.
God.
Oh my God! Shut the fuck up. He's not leaving. He's gonna stay.
No, I'm just saying, like, someone's got to be captain on the field. Like, Calabria was captain because Romagnoli wasn't playing. If Calabria's not playing either, and Kessie's gone, then
Calabria's gonna be
next
playing.
I swear he didn't listen to me at all.
No, he's not. He's just looking at his phone. I think that he's going to continue to get games at both positions, to be honest. So I think if we sign Botman, he's probably going to be the third choice centre-back. I don't think we spend 30 million on a player to come in and be a backup. But then I think that he gets enough games at centre-back because you'll have to rest and rotate. There's injuries that always happen throughout the course of the season. But then, obviously, if we sign Florenzi, it becomes a bit different in terms of where he ranks in the right-back positions. But we know that he can play right well. He's right back for France, he's under 21s, and he got a delightful assist over the international break. And we've seen it happen before. He whips in a great ball. So we've just got a player who can play both full-back and centre-back. I'm not going to typecast him into either role anymore like I tried to do last season. AJ Rotani, probably pronounced that wrong, says loan player situation. So on that, I guess we'll go through the players that have been out on loan so far this season. Pobega, happy for him to return and stay?
Yeah. I think we're losing an Italian, bring in another one. Adley, we got to see how he does in preseason, but I think he did really well at Bordeaux, so I wouldn't mind if he stays, but let's see how he does.
Then we've got Lorenzo Colombo. He was on loan in Serie B with Spal, and he scored like 6 goals in his first 10 games, and then didn't score since. So I'm inclined to say that if we can loan him to like a team that's just like a Monza, that'd be great to get him some experience in Serie A. But I think he might need another season in Serie B. He's only 19; it's not the end of the world, but still,
he's young. Yeah.
I
think we got enough Lorenzos already.
Oh wow, yeah, nice. I suppose that there's also like Plitari who could come back and be the third choice keeper because he's homegrown, like he came through our academy. Mirante is probably not going to be offered another contract. And, you know, he'll come back from his loan into Serie B. And then loan players in terms of who we've got on loan. Bakayoko, are we terminating him early?
I think so.
His
yeah.
loan, not like as a person. Just
Right. Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying.
yes,
Yeah.
I think we definitely are. I don't know why we wouldn't be.
Yeah.
it's not worked, has it? Sounds like you might be looking back with Gattuso at Valencia. How he got that job, that's a really weird match to me. But I hope he does well there because I quite like Valencia. And then we've got Brahim Diaz, keeping him for another season. Sounds like Pioli wants to.
I think we will. I think we'll give him another chance. I do think I read that there's going to be a meeting with Madrid to decide his fate, I guess. So I wouldn't be shocked if they like, look, he needs more game time, or we're going to terminate the loan. And if we say we can't guarantee it because we need to win, and you know, I'm sure Madrid would respect that, but they say, okay, then we're going to send him somewhere else.
Maddie,
I think he's staying. I don't want him to, but I think he's going to.
Yeah, I think we've got him essentially for another year where it's just wages, and then we make a decision on the option to buy. So you keep him. You probably keep him. Otherwise, you're going to have to negotiate for another player who's of a similar mold, perhaps.
I mean, he's still young too, isn't he?
Yeah, 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen good bits from him off the bench, so maybe that might be his role more moving forward next season to try and be a bit tricky and unlock defences. I mean, look, there hasn't been an awful lot positive to go on, to be honest. But it is what it is. He might pick up like Tonali and Leao did. You know, sometimes they just need that one more season to really kick on. Rocky Award, honest thoughts on Anthony's tattoo and thighs?
On my thighs?
I don't know if he means like... Has he combined the two, or does he mean your thigh tattoo? I don't know. Tattoo on thighs, tattoo and thighs. Show the camera if you want.
No.
Okay.
It's on my Twitter.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, true. You got Sassuolo 0, Milan 3 on your like.
Yeah. I put the goal scorers, which is
any message for the
started
haters?
A lot of controversy, as Oliver said so eloquently in the beginning.
What's up?
Yeah, look, people are like mad. One, I don't really care. I got like over 30 tattoos. Most of them are shit. They don't really mean anything to me. So it's all good. It's funny. But the other thing is people are saying like there's so many different ways to commemorate the title. That's not what I'm doing. I'm never going to forget that we won the title. I'll never forget we have 19 Scudetti. What this is doing is commemorating the moment for me, because that's something that you do forget over time is those little moments. And for me, where I was when we scored, how I felt, how it felt to spend it with other people experiencing the same emotions. That's the thing I want to remember. So that's why I did it. I don't care that Kessie's leaving. He scored a goal in the game, or in the title winning game. How could I not be thrilled about that? So
did you get the tattoo to remember it because you mentally can't remember it because you drank so much?
I guess we'll never know.
Good.
No, I do like it. I was actually going to get something very similar until my wife told me no.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get something else instead. So
now we know Shannon's opinion on my tattoo.
Hey.
And what being married does.
Yeah.
Yes. We got a question I totally forgot to ask last week, and it came from Mark David Young. We kind of touched on a couple of the players there, but he was just asking about what the future holds for some of the younger players in our squad, like, say, Marco Brescianini, who has been like right on the edge of the Primavera for some time now, and spent time out on loan last season and come back. And then there's other players in there that are worth mentioning. Bellotti keeps being loaned out. Plizzari, I suppose, keeps being loaned out. There's basically the Primavera is at the moment not a level where it can produce players that are ready for our first team. That's just the sad reality of it. They've not been good for years. You know, they were one game away from a relegation playoff this season. They've sacked the manager, Giunti. They promoted Turney from the under-18s to take over, and things didn't exactly go great. There's apparently 4 managers in the fold to take over. I'll throw this out there. I mean, you might not know anything about their coaching style, but as a name, which of these would you prefer? Abate is one of them. He's the under-16s manager at the moment. That'd be quite, something. Aquilani, who is currently Fiorentina Primavera's manager and has won the Coppa Italia 3 years in a row at Primavera level. There's Gilardino, who obviously also played for us, and Nesta.
Do Nesta or Gilardino have any managerial careers?
And Nesta does, yeah. I think he was, I want to say he was the manager of an MLS team.
He
Did he
played
play
for
one of
Montreal
them?
Impact, but I don't know.
Yeah, that
if
might be
he
what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
No, I mean, out of those, say Aquilani won it with Fiorentina the Cup 3 years in a row. I mean, that makes the most sense if we want to win, but I genuinely don't really care about winning youth cups, youth trophies. Like,
AJ doesn't believe in youth systems, so he's a really bad person to ask about this.
it's not that I don't believe in youth systems, it's just that they're not important. Develop the players, obviously, yeah, but results don't matter. It's the principles you instill, the skills you develop, and the confidence you give the players. Look at Inter. They've won the league a bajillion times, and they've produced about 100 players that haven't gone into their team.
And ultimately, if you're producing players that are near but not quite,
it's also
they're
business
still sellable.
Opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like it's a conveyor belt of capital gain.
Yeah.
Essentially. I hope that Redbird, because American sports, I think it'd be fair to say, is quite geared on youth development and scholarships and the actual process of going into professional sport. I hope they take the academy very seriously. Like InvestCorp were apparently willing to pump money into moving Milanello and making this brand new world-class facility on par with some of the elite teams in Europe. I really hope that they're willing to invest into infrastructure and do that for us too, because we're sorely lacking in that area. The recruitment hasn't been, or the development hasn't been good enough. The recruitment's changed recently. We've started going abroad more. Like we got Robak, Mashaj, and another player from Sweden. We got Shaka Traore from Parma. I know that's domestic, but he was an exciting player to snap up. There has been signings made, to try and actually make sure that the team is competitive. But yeah, like you said, AJ, the playing style, the principles are what matters first and foremost for the Primavera, because there is no point having a Primavera unless some of them make it into the first team. That's the bottom line. And in answer to the point and in answer to the question, I would let Pioli pick whoever he wants. I'd let him speak to the four guys and say, what are your ideas? It might be that Aquilani, because he's got success at that level, and Fiorentina actually is an academy, have done pretty damn good. I mean, Aquilani coach Vlahovic, for example.
And you want them to be aligned with what the first team is doing.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. So it might be that he just has a really good feeling with one of them that he speaks to, and then off we go. He can support that, because then you have the faith to say, for example, Robat was called up to the senior squad a fair bit this season without actually playing. That means that he's in and around the group, so he's learning and stuff. But then Pioli might have the faith to say, okay, Emil, you're going to play with the Primavera this week, because I want to get minutes, and he trusts that the coach is going to put him in a good situation. Whereas with Giunti, we were losing most weeks. The football was not good. We were relying on Marco Nasti, and that's about it. So, yeah, that was a pretty bleak situation. And that's it in terms of questions. We're going to keep it under an hour, which I think is a sign of progress, perhaps. But, yeah, thank you to everyone if you made it this far. As always, drop us comments about all the things that we've discussed. The player ratings went down well, I think it would be fair to say. Or they went down. They certainly went down. Bit of a mixed opinion on some of them, but that was always going to happen, Yeah. Emotions are running high still. So thanks to everyone who chimed in on that, and let us know who your targets would be for the positions mentioned, who you'd like to see be the Primavera boss, all that. Get involved. It'd be great to hear from you. I've been your host, Ollie Fisher. You can find me on Twitter at Ollie Fisher, which is there. Digit.
Yeah, Torget45. If you want to, give your negative feedback towards my tattoo, that's where you can find it on Twitter. Everyone else is doing it, so have at it. We got Madison with us as well.
What did you call me?
Madison.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it was a good week. Edward __Toth.
How's the new sofa looking?
Dude, after this, I'm gonna take the dog out and go lay on the couch while I'm
Sounds good.
working.
Sounds great.
I'm gonna go to actual work.
Yeah, thank you to everyone for watching, and we'll catch you in a week's time.
Eccolo Ante in area di rigore, Ante, Ibra, gol! Vediamo se è buono, ce lo dà buono, ce lo dà buono, ce lo dà buono!